Hey guys, all right. We're back again in this internet space. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope all of you are doing well, whatever is up and happening in your life. My goodness. I have been trying to make this video happen a couple times, and we're gonna make it happen. Here we go. It is Mercury retrograde, so be patient with yourself and the world as they're going through their agreements with Mercury, and that means basically like communication, technology, things like that of the sort, it's all geared to help us slow down in a fast-paced world. So just try to slow down. That was a message that came through for me as I was really struggling just making this happen. So here we go. Next week we have the next part of the eclipse, like the end of eclipse season. So May 5th will be the lunar eclipse, right? Am I getting that right? It's a solar eclipse, so that's a lunar eclipse. I believe that's how it works. But what should we do in the in-betweens time? What should we do? Well, what I really felt called to do was something that I love to do when I don't know what to do. And that is call in support and call in the loving wisdom of the goddess. That I just, it's just archetypally that nurturing feminine, it doesn't even have to be feminine, it's just nurturing, loving energy that supports your growth. So that's what I want to talk to today. And I figured this deck does not get used much. It actually lives in a drawer of mine, face up all the time. So whenever I'm getting clothes out of it, I can see a card. And it's been one goddess for a really, really long time. And then I opened up that drawer and it was just like, oh, hi. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull from these and see which goddess wants to come and hang out with us in this sacred space. And what wisdom does she have for us at the time? And who is this that I'm even talking about? This is, ooh, my goodness, this is a big mouthful. I apologize, but I think it's Slatsoteloto. Slatso. Yeah, my my ancient Aztec or Mayan is rusty. So yeah, the Toltec Earth Mother. That's her. Isn't she beautiful? I might type her name out so one of you can help me pronounce it because I'm sure it's beautiful and I love that the language, which I'm also blanking on the name of. Yeah, it's going to be one of those readings. We're just going to roll with it. The words are just I'm moving slow with the words. That's usually how I know that deep channeling is on its way, when the words are blobular. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and we'll just ground root a little bit and we'll ask from this deck, which goddess is wanting to lend some support at this time with a message for all of us. Ooh, I love when that happens. Oh, of course. I love when this happened. This is deep channeling, guys. This is happening on the spot. They're so they're so glossy, but I hope you can see this. This is Isis and Osiris. Gosh, with the moon hanging out there. And you want to know something spectacular? If I can even say anything. Uh, is that right now, astrologically speaking, um, There's a difference between looking at the living sky and when you look at Western astrology. I will not even try to explain that one right now. But basically, if you look at the night sky, you will see the moon hanging out with Mars. When you look at the astrology of right now, if you're using Western astrology, like Hellenistic, then you will see that the moon is conjunct Sirius. And Sirius to the ancient Egyptians still is Isis. And that is the star that the moon is talking to right now, astrologically speaking. The moon will move and be conjunct this star in the living sky in not too long. And that will be exciting as well. But oh my gosh, of course she would come through Isis and Osiris, because this is both of them. And oh my gosh, this woman's art is absolutely beautiful. I love her art. Susan Eleanor Boulay Trust. Big name for a big woman. Look at this. Oh, this moment of Osiris and Isis. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to read the back of the card. It says, in ancient Egypt, Isis was among the oldest of the goddesses, the mother and giver of all life, a moon goddess, and she gives birth to the sun, creates and sustains all life, and is the savior of all people. The teacher of agriculture, she is also the goddess of medicine and wisdom. Osiris was her brother and her husband. Back then, didn't really matter. This is mythology. When Osiris was murdered by his brother Set, Isis searched. I'm going to start that again. We're all being patient with words, right? When Osiris was murdered by his brother Set, Isis searched for and found him, revived him, and then conceived their son, Horus. If you haven't read that story, it's a pretty epic one. When Set again took Osiris and scattered his body in 14 pieces, Isis hunted down each piece except for his reproductive organs, which she was unable to locate, in order to give each piece a proper burial. Isis is the universal goddess, representing total femininity. She can overcome death itself, yet she is not above grief. One of her tears, wept when Osiris was dying, caused the Nile River to flood. She underscores the depths of emotion that even a goddess must feel. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right. So, Miss Isis, what would you like us to know? This is so cool. I love when this kind of stuff happens. So we're going to pull from the Starseed Oracle, wherever you are. Where are you? Maybe it's not here. Are we just going to have that kind of video where everything's running amok? No, we're not. We're deciding that everything's going to move smoothly, right? Okay. Oh my goodness. Isis, I'm not ready. I want to actually ask deliberately. She's just throwing cards. Okay, Isis, what would you like us to know? And then we'll ask Osiris too. Because this is such a cool moon because moon and Mars are conjunct. Wow. Okay. So, oh, what would Isis like us to know right now in this in between? What's your message? What's your message? Usually we would have got one from now. We're doing this again. So Isis is really, she's a goddess of deep emotion, deep feeling. And so rather than shuffling the cards and she's like, how about we just feel out the card? Feel out the card. Hmm. I'm seeing this one poking through. and I'm seeing this one. So we've got one for Isis and one for Osiris. So Isis, the void. Wow, the void. Oh my goodness. So we're in that in-between space, right? The in-between is that liminal space, basically the void. So here we go. We're in the void with Isis. And the void is a beautiful, beautiful place. If you have ever sat down to meditate and you just start to find that you are so deep in wherever it is that you go, you're listening to your breath and you manage to get to that point where the thoughts fall away and you're just in the void. You're in that space where it's pure potential. That means it is nothing and it is everything. And that is the place where all existence begins. What do you want to create? This is the time to start like losing, like Mercury is also helping us with this. It's helping us slow down, rewire our the mental the our minds are actually, during this time when Mercury goes retrograde, we are so connected to the cosmos. We are so connected. We think that we aren't, but we are. We are so intimately connected that when we become aware that there the patterns in the cosmos actually do have a ripple, and we do actually feel them, and they do actually make things happen and change in our lives. It's awe-inspiring. So right now with Mercury going, according to our perspective on Earth, we see Mercury going backwards. It never goes backwards, but from our perspective, it's our illusion. We look at it, and so we interpret the meaning as backwards. And so when we see Mercury going back, it's a time for us to reflect. It's a time for us to rewire. It's a time for us to step into that void. So definitely some deep meditating. Meditate in the dark. It's actually awesome to meditate in the dark before you go to bed. And or in the early morning. For anybody who's really up for it, 4 a.m., that is the time where the spinal fluid has actually moved into your mind. Pineal gland is going to be fully, like, it's on it. It is ready to go, fully charged from hopefully a good night's sleep if you've managed that. And but 4 a.m., that is Brahma time. So, and the if you look this up, you can take a peek at it. There is a place in your mind, in your brain, that is called the Cave of Brahma, the Cave of Brahma. And that is literally the spot where the spinal fluid comes up into your brain. The two hemispheres join, and there's this one little spot, kind of like a V. And that little V, there is the Cave of Brahma. And right there around it, I'm not super, I'm not like I don't know, I haven't studied enough anatomy, but the pineal gland is right around there. And the spinal fluid comes up and it washes your mind, washes the pineal gland. And 4 a.m., they like, if you study Ayurveda or the Vedic texts, that is it's the time of day where that's activated. And so therefore, oh my gosh, this is so complex and juicy. I need to show you somebody. Oh, there we go. Whatever. Okay. This, my friends, is Brahma. And he has four faces, and they all look into the void. They look into eternity. And then this is literally a representation of what is going on in your mind. You've got the frontal lobe, you've got the two temples, and you've got the back, which is connected. Did I just put some dust on my third eye? Thank you, Brahma. So, you've got the back of your head, which is connected to the pineal gland. That there's a whole wealth of information right there. Anyway, this little statue is basically just showing you what's going on in the mind. That's that's what these are. These little dudes, these little guys, all these people that, we have for years and years and years, centuries even, revered as gods that are outside of us. They're not outside. They're in here. The Vedic texts were actually just demonstrating the fact that this means pineal gland activation, which basically just opens your mind to becoming more aware of who you actually just are. It helps you remember. That's all that does. So people get all like weird about the pineal gland, but really, it's just opening you up to who you are. That's it. Right now, if you, have like a you know, I don't know, too many clogs in the wheels, then your energy just doesn't move fluidly. So Isis is really coming in to be like, dude, it's time. It's time to step into the void, lose these different pieces that need to fall away. Oh, man, this is a big giant message, guys. Okay, so we're just gonna keep moving because what are we gonna do? All right, Osiris, and he is talking about the Hiraeth, which I don't really know much about. A longing for home, homesick for the stars. Wow, guys. So I'm just going to tune into this for a second because this feels a bit foreign, like the word Hiraeth. And I don't have the book handy. I actually have that put away. I don't often use the books. I like to really work intuitively. There's some cards that really, I love the books, but this one, not so much. So this one, what I'm feeling from this one, and information is coming through now, is that there are stories of different different places, different, this is going to get super cosmic, but planets and places that are not around anymore, that they're gone because you know things are billions and billions and billions of years old, like so old. And you are a very old soul. We all are very old souls. And so it is possible that, we have this Earth incarnation. This is not the only incarnation that you've had. You've had many, some off-world, some in different dimensions, different galaxies. I don't know. But we're multi-dimensional people. And just because you are here as a human, there's a part of yourself that does remember you, on a soul level, places that you have been before. And it's possible that in those places that you have been before, long ago, that they're not, you don't have access to them right now. Or perhaps they no longer exist. And so this would bring about that kind of like it says homesickness, and wanting to be back in a place where you belong. So it's like when we sometimes look out at the world and we see how much chaos and all these different things, and when you talk to like maybe each and every one of your friends is going through something, and it's not just little something, it's a big something. And one of the things that is really coming up is like This is all part of Earth School. Earth School is a big, big teacher. Wow. And so we actually have this of dropping into the void, perhaps to remember some of these things that are coming up. I feel like almost this message requires like two parts because I'll be able to keep doing this for a little while, but we may have to come back to this reading just because this reading feels really big. Almost like I need to like sit and allow it to move through. And perhaps there's things that you also need to sit and allow to be digested about what we've just pulled through right now, because this feels highly charged, very activating. And so with this, perhaps, you haven't really felt like you belonged here. And what I'm hearing very, very, very loudly is that you belong. You belong. And coming back into yourself, coming back in, dropping into these little energy centers, really going in and clearing out the wheels and the gunks in the mind, like allowing that to fall into the void, allowing you to just actually move into nothingness. These memories may actually start showing up. And the other big thing is that I actually feel that we start to get a sense of being Earth citizens when we start doing this, that we actually start to see why we're here and why we belong here and why we wouldn't really trade this existence for anything else. That it's so important. It is such a treasure to be here right now. Oh my goodness, look at this. Like the little mountains in the clouds and the stars. I I'm loving this more and more. The thing that I'm actually hearing right now is maybe just for me, I don't know, but maybe somebody else needs to hear it, is that what it is that you create in your free time, perhaps you knit or write or I don't know, whatever it is that you do that expresses yourself in a way that you can see it in some way. And this could even just be speaking out loud. Maybe you put on a recorder and just start talking, and see what comes out of you. Maybe you paint, maybe you draw. Uh, maybe you want to sit down and with candlelight just write and just see what happens. But dropping into this, and I'm hearing actually if you like maybe put on some binaural beats that get you into like theta, and then that actually leads to flow state, which is gamma. And if you just and you start to get into that kind of flow, just really allow creativity to flow out. Like I'm noticing that there's that black inky space of the void, but then it is perfectly mirrored with this bright shining light. So that feels really important. And then the fact that it's kind of like matching the painting, I feel is, this is an expression, just this is actually a dream that I had. I dreamt of a mountain in the clouds, and when I woke up, I was like, I have to paint that. So it's like, who knew? Who knew that now I'm like showing it to you guys, and it's playing a role here of like express yourself, because the more you express yourself, the more you find your soul tribe, the more you find the people that you're connected to that appreciate what it is that you do create and want to create with you. And that actually helps break this, and I'm hearing karmic curse. That sounds heavy, but this heavy karmic pattern of not belonging and feeling like that you're not allowed to thrive here. You are. You're an Earth citizen now. And it's time to claim it. It's time to own it. It's time to step in to something even bigger. And the void is saying to dream big. Dream big. Taurus season, dream big. So Aries season, that's knowing your idea and running with it. And then Taurus season is building it, actually using tools to express that idea, make it come to life. Oh my goodness, I know it's almost time for me to get going. But I'm filming late today, and that's just kind of how it goes. That was our card. That was our card. I'm pulling from the same artist. She made a goddess deck, and then she also made an animal deck. And this is the one that we have today. And it is the scarab. I mean, Isis and Osiris. And then we pull the totem animal, scarab. I just, it blows my mind when this thing happens, when I feel like we literally have the goddess hanging out with us and guiding me with the hands, these tools of expression to pick the card. It just blows my mind how this works. Scarab. So when it says regeneration, and is that Isis and Osiris hanging out on the card? That could be. That looks like them. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, wow. I'm getting super the chills now. Whoa. Okay. So again, here we go. To the Egyptian, to the Egyptians, the scarab, a type of beetle, symbolizes the powers that govern the celestial bodies. A great scarab was thought to roll the sun across the sky. This belief arose from the scarab's habit of shaping a piece of ox dung into a ball in which it laid its eggs and rolling it about, generally from east to west. How cute is that? Oh, I'm not holding it up for you to see. Sorry. Here we go. Scarab-like jewels were often placed in tombs of deceased relatives to give them the power of the sun and to facilitate their resurrection. Wow, this is really amazing. So this beautiful scarab, which rolls literally a little piece of shit, rolling it, which other things would be like, ew, that's gross, that's garbage. But the scarab makes use of everything that, we don't need that, but it does. The scarab is actually coming in to help relieve you of your burdens. The scarab is gonna take our shit away and roll it into balls and plant its little babies in it. And, and then when when the sun is reborn every morning, really watch them grow. Like it's just kind of amazing. So I'm hearing the word fertilize your garden. This is the time to fertilize what you are trying to grow. And so perhaps you can actually look back at that we had two new moons in Aries. So last month we had, or even part of this month, we had two new moons. Um, yeah, no, it was April. Oh my gosh. I'd have to look at the thing. I'd have to look, and my brain is not operating in a normal function right now. So I'll allow you guys to go take a look at when those last two full moons happened and perhaps recollect um what reflect a little bit what was happening then, what seeds were planted, or also big dreams take a long time to grow. What have you been trying for a long time to grow? And, perhaps it's like right on the verge of manifesting because we've got some really big helpers right now. So this is some beautiful, beautiful energy. This is an incredible how potent this whole Isis and Osiris is coming through. Wow. I'm trying to think if there's another, because I almost feel like this is a lot. Perhaps this is a two-parter, and we can come back to this. I'm thinking about that. Is this two-part? Yeah, I think it is. I think we're going to allow the messages to drop in from the void because, right, the void is a silent place, and that takes time and some patience to really allow the little beetle to roll the ball. The ox does not make little little composty balls. No, it actually is just like it's a flat thing. And so now you've got this scarab that actually does the work and turns it into a ball and then lays its eggs and rolls it along the desert. So, I mean, we've got this whole process unfolding at the time of this reading. And apologies, guys. I feel like this reading is, I mean, it's both super, super mystical, like very magical, but I personally feel like I'm all over the place in terms of delivering the message. And so that's just kind of, I'm going to honor where I'm at. I can also, um, I can hear so much commotion happening in real time because it is that dinner time part of day. And so I'm gonna head out and we're gonna do a two-part. So we will revisit this and I will take some time to sink into the void with Isis and Osiris and see what more they have to share with us later on. Thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for all of your love and support, and I hope that you guys are well. All right. Bye.